Okay, we'll move on to our topic of the day, which is Earth Day. Usually we have a featured speaker or a video or something, but this time I'm doing it. So here it goes. The first Earth Day, April 22nd, 1970. The 1960s saw a dramatic uptick in environmental concerns, with several environmental catastrophes, which you'll probably remember: Santa Barbara oil spill and the Cuyahoga River fires. Events made many Americans felt it was time to take a more active approach in the stewardship of our planet. Inspired by these environmental disasters, the junior senator from Wisconsin, Senator Pete McCloskey, which maybe you can see here, kind of Kennedy-esque, among others, established the first Earth Day on April 22nd, 1970, to bring light to the issues of environmental responsibility and transforming the public's attitude. You may have been at the first Earth Day. I know I was. It was celebrated both in Lincoln Park and Daly Plaza, and those pictures are all from Daly Plaza, I think. You see yourself in them if you were there? I looked at myself, I didn't see myself. Every year on April 22nd, Earth Day marks the anniversary of the birth of the modern environmental movement in 1970. In the decades leading up to the first Earth Day, Americans were consuming vast amounts of leaded gas through massive and inefficient automobiles. Industry belted out smoke and sludge with little fear of the consequences from either law or bad press. Air pollution was commonly accepted as the smell of prosperity. Until this point, mainstream America remained largely oblivious to environmental concerns and how a polluted environment threatens human health. However, the stage was set for change with the publication of Rachel Carson's New York Times bestseller, Silent Spring, which many of you probably have already read, in 1962. The book represented a watershed moment, selling more than 500,000 copies in 24 countries, as it raised public awareness and concern for living organisms, the environment, and the inextricable links between pollution and public health. Earth Day 1970 would come to provide a voice to the emerging environmental consciousness and putting environmental concerns on the front page. Groups that had been fighting individually against oil spills, polluting factories and power plants, raw sewage, toxic dump, pesticides, freeways, the loss of wilderness, and the extinction of wildlife united on Earth Day around these shared common values. Earth Day 1970 achieved a rare political alignment, enlisting support from Republicans and Democrats, rich and poor, urban dwellers and farmers, business and labor leaders. By the end of 1970, the first Earth Day led to the creation of the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the passage of other first-of-their-kind environmental laws, including the National Environmental Education Act, the Occupational Safety and Health Act, the Clean Air Act. 2 years later, Congress passed the Clean Water Act. A year after that, Congress passed the Endangered Species Act. And soon after, the Federal Insecticide, Fungicide, and Rodenticide Act. These laws have protected millions of men, women, and children from disease and death, and have protected hundreds of species from extinction. The social and cultural environments we saw in 1970 are rising up again today. A fresh and frustrated generation of young people are refusing to settle for platitudes, instead taking to the streets by millions to demand a new way forward. Digital and social media are bringing these conversations, protests, strikes, and mobilizations to a global audience, uniting a concerned citizenry as never before and catalyzing generations to join together to take on the greatest challenge that humankind has faced. Fast forward to Earth Day 2019. Some of you may remember in 2019, our group took up a collection to place 2 large containers at the entrance to third space and fill them with flowers. You don't have those slides, huh? Okay. It was so pleasant to see them each time we entered the building and check on their well-being. If you can see this, this is what it looked like. You remember when we had those planters out in front?
Very nice.
Yeah, you remember that, don't you, Mark? Their size, filled with dirt, made it impossible for us to bring them indoors. They were hugely heavy. And over time in winters, freezing and thawing, they cracked, and that's why you don't see them there today. Fast forward again, Earth Day this year. Saving the earth is our concern more than ever today. Dan, George, and I asked ourselves, what can we do as a group of Chicago apartment dwellers to participate in a positive group project together to work toward a greener, cleaner earth? We came up with an idea that I hope you will like and participate in. It could be a daily reminder that the earth is ours to care for. We also welcome your ideas of more ways we can work together toward that goal. So our idea is to make an herb garden, which will be tended and cared for by us. Each person can be responsible for 1 or more herbs of their choice that they would help nurture throughout the growing season. We would together purchase these herbs in the container in which to grow them, such as this type of portable container, which we will place near the entrance to the third space. I'm sorry, I don't have a slide for you to see, but it's like a standing, we would need to have your help in choosing which herbs to grow, help with potting them into the planter, occasionally checking for weeds, and watering them as needed. Plus, you will be able to snip off an herb frond from time to time for your dinner. So it's an interactive herb garden. You can even adopt an herb and after the outdoor season, take it home and continue growing and enjoying it until next year's outdoor garden. If you would like for us to do something for Mother Earth as a group, we will need to have not only your desire and willingness to make it work, but also the financial input. We don't collect dues. We don't have a treasury. We work on totally volunteer efforts. We also have the advantage of an agro-scientist in our midst. You probably didn't know this. Rocky Vance, who serves us on Thursdays now, who you know is a volunteer server at Lunch Bunch to advise us. I don't know if you do that and you do that, but I bet other people didn't know that Rocky was a agro-scientist and a landscape artist as well, right? So I want to know what you think, if you want to take this on. Oh, this is a better picture of what those planters look like.
My big issue is recycling. 40% of the food that we produce in the United States is thrown away. Now, I don't know if you've ever tried to recycle your kitchen, but it's not easy. There's lots of stuff. Oh, I can't believe how difficult it is. So you recycle it and then put it out in the garden, and neighbors get all upset and all of a sudden. Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me. I could pay $15 a month to have somebody do this for me. But they're going to be very selective and other stuff. Why? And I've been on my condo association getting them to try to do this. We got a lot of people that are talking about it, and not a whole lot of people that want to join in and do it. So anyway, I hope you get involved and do something. That's what it's all about. And thank everybody who's doing something already. Oh my God, there are a lot of people that are doing things.
Dan also had a couple videos, which unfortunately
So I think we could see the videos if you want.
one about composting for apartment dwellers, believe it or not, and how you do it.
So,
Another one was most interesting, things that you see as you walk through the neighborhood that are medicinal or edible or whatever. Things that you'll easily recognize.
Composter. But I don't have enough as a single person who really doesn't cook, how much can you get? So I didn't bother participating. But anyway, it's
Did
one,
a lot of the other people, persons.
I guess they did, yeah, they had, so I don't know if they're gonna redo it this year, they have done it the last couple of years.
What did they do with the finished compost? They put it in their garden?
I think they do, they use it, in fact, they asked those who are interested to collect up the finished product and use it.
Georgia was saying that the metropolitan, saving the earth, making Mother Earth better. You can bring them up right now, or as you think of them, send them to me. Michelle, do I have your email? Okay, you wanna put it down on the back there? Does anybody have any ideas for a group project for our group? Well, you know, as you get home and you think about it, you might think of something that would be of interest and send it on.
Group project, wouldn't it be interesting if we all took a hike on that Maggie Daly Walk at center, by the cultural center? She has a walk there, that all of these things are, back to nature and, restoring, the environment that used to be here before the city came along. They're trying to restore that thing, and making it, more habitable for, insects and birds and, plants like that. But there are many places, not just Maggie Daly's Walk, but other places around here that they're trying to restore the original, what was before the city, as I said. So we
So
could
they
do
have
something like that if you
nature
wanted,
walks in the parks too.
if you wanted an excursion to do, it would be cheap, it would be cool, we could have lunch, etc. Whatever,
Yeah, that sounds like a nice idea.
whatever you wish.
It brings to mind. Way before COVID, I had gotten a gift certificate for my son and daughter-in-law. From this guy, I forget his name now, it was something like Olden or something like that, but anyway, he does tours. And he goes up and down the alley wherever you want. And he shows you, he was on WTTW, that's how I got in touch with him. And ordinary things and things that you call weeds out in the alley, you know, he's having you eat them
Cool,
and. Cause he knows what's edible and
cool,
it was really neat.
yeah, a good excursion for us, chief, we could socialize, etc.
Right.
All right, you ready?
They're like, did you dip that in water before you? All I can think of
Well,
is like
somebody,
the dogs that get walked in the alley.
he
and-
said that,
Oh, yeah.
he
that-
said,
What was the answer?
don't bother. He says, even if a dog is peed on it, it's not gonna hurt you. I wouldn't do that. I would wash it
Yeah.
first, but
What does our pathologist say about that?
yeah. Dr. Bill, what do you have to say about that?
don't do dogs.
but I think that's the issue more than anything else. We're
You know
told to ignore our own instincts in our own sense that what we know is good and what we know is good. And the longer we ignore them, the more I need Mark to tell me what to do, or Dave, or somebody else.
Next window, please, not me. Not me.
Well,
Having been the person that they said, listen to, and you're the teacher and you're that, I learned that I didn't know very much, and I could learn more from my students and each other. If we work together,
Yeah,
the way nature does it, it's called a SOL, self-organized learning environment. And that's where we are at AARP, Northside, I hope. People willing to learn and take chances, go outside, and support one another, be with one another and do something.
Donnie Carson used to have a guest that would come on a program back in the sixties, who would go into Central Park and pick out stuff from things. And he'd bring it in, they'd have a salad.
yeah, forage. Is that the name of that?
Foraging,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then they'd eat this part of the results of their foraging.
Well, we're actually having a work day at the church here on Saturday, if you're looking for a way to jump in. So we'll clean up our yard, and break up dead leaves and full weeds and that kind of thing. And there'll be some inside building, trying to spruce it up for spring, so.
But
You're welcome
there'll be
to,
no lunch, so.
there will be no lunch, if you're lucky, somebody will bring donuts.
Yeah.
Well,
You could bring one.
I can take it as a consensus that we're interested in pursuing that.
yes.
Number one, number two, most important, are you willing to contribute towards buying the materials?
I'm gonna check. I have to go to the.
Okay, we'll put this on,
We
are.
We are,
No, no, well-
it's good,
and we'll put this on YouTube, okay?
yeah,
And there's an opportunity to comment.
yeah.
If you comment, please, and if you need help on learning how to comment and everything else, go to my brother Dave, because I'm having nothing but trouble with technology, but we'll find a way somehow.
He's giving you something to do.
He's giving you a dead end is what he's doing, because he's.
There's somebody in our group that can help you do and this is how we can continue this conversation ad infinitum, okay? We're really concerned about the earth and one another and children and the future. It's a struggle because they're so.
Mark, what's your favorite herb?
What's my favorite?
Yeah.
herb?
Yeah,
The only one I can think of is basil, I don't know. I don't know.
Oregano.
You can say herb, I say basil, that's all I know, I really don't.
Did I give it to
But mint is good,
Yeah.
mint is good.
Well, maybe-
Everybody else-
Don't forget to do that. I don't have it here.
Oh,
if I see it,
Give
then I
us some money for this here.
well,
We
we
Oh,
would,
I did,
well, wait, this is not enough to start with.
Okay.
For what?
Is sugar and herb?
You. and
You don't have a favorite herb?
I want.
Cilantro.
So do whatever you want.
Anne Marie, are you saying something?
Anne Marie, are you saying something?
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
I'm back.
Yes, come back.
Anne Marie?
Come back again. We will meet the first Tuesday of every month.
Grand Parsons not an herb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hazel.
It is darker.
Yeah, we're supposed to have a.
Yeah.